Hey, what's up guys? This is Andre Streppel and welcome back to a new video. In this video, we're gonna be covering 5 things I've learned now going full-time as a photographer. So let's get into this video right now. So a little bit of backstory, I've been a photographer and a videographer now for about 5 to 6 years, and up until that point, I've been always doing it for somebody else. I've always been an employee, never actually done all this as a freelancer. And effective the first of this year, I've been a full-time freelancer on my own. So that makes it now 2 months doing this, and it's been pretty awesome. But I've definitely learned some really important things along the way. Some things I anticipated and some things I had no idea about. So let's jump into the first one right now. How do you pronounce niche?
Niche.
Niche, that's how you pronounce that. So number 1, focus on a niche and get really good at it. So up until this point, I've always done a little bit of everything, especially in the photography and videography world. Weddings, real estate, portraits, products, a whole bunch of stuff in there, and it's all really cool. But I think the key to this is honestly focusing on one thing and then getting really good at that thing so your clients consistently come back to you because you produce a really unique and great quality product. So because I worked for a real estate team and been in the real estate world now for a couple years, and I did that consistently so much, I felt like that was my strongest point. So going full-time effective this year, I decided that I was gonna pursue that and try and build a client base off real estate photography and videography and everything else in between. Because honestly, real estate is not just photos and videos of houses. There's headshots, lifestyle videos, brand videos, so much in that industry that I feel like a lot of creators don't really know about. Now, I'm not saying completely stop everything you're doing and just focus on one thing and only do that. Variety is really good, but at the same time, I'm saying that just being a jack of all trades is probably not the best route either, because I still do portraits, product stuff, what else did I say? Weddings, all of those things, but I'm slowly filtering some of these things out and doing the things I really like to do and are really beneficial for me as a freelancer, especially in my area, which seems to be real estate. Okay, so number 2 is gonna be pricing. Now, as a photographer, videographer, once you start charging people for your service, you have to have some sort of pricing budget, consistent rates or something like that. And so this is something that you have to have done in advance, or at least have a good idea about, because you don't want to be in a position where you're just trying to figure out your pricing for every single project and clients and give everyone different rates and so on. So having a good understanding of either this is what I'm going to charge for this is what I'm going to charge for this, having it laid out on paper, on your website, however you decide to do that, is something that's really important. And then here's another factor to consider. It's really important for you to do your homework on whatever industry you're going to be in to see what the average pricing or what most people are paying, and depending on how far along you're in your career, whether you're a professional or just starting out or an intermediate, because one of the key things I've learned that is if everyone is booking you, that means your prices are too low. I think a good happy medium is if you land about 70% of your jobs and the other 30% think you're too expensive, you're probably right on track. So now if you raise your prices and no one is booking you, that might mean that maybe your pricing is too high for the type of videos that you're making. A good friend, Taylor Brown, told me that you basically want your clients to still consistently use you even if they say your pricing's too high, because now they're pretty much going to be stuck with you because your work is so good. So now that's pretty much how I've adapted that into real estate. I basically have some set pricing that I try and stick to. I'm really aiming to be at that luxury market. I'm not trying to just be doing, small homes that are just, a few $100s here, a few $100s there. I feel like my skill set really shines with higher end luxury homes where I could produce really high quality cinematic videos and also take really cool photos of these homes along with lifestyle videos and a whole bunch of stuff we can do to these for marketing content. And whenever you're about to send a quote to a client, don't be scared if it's too high, because if you don't know what their marketing budget is, you never know. Like, the worst thing they can say is no, or you can just renegotiate after. I recently went through this where a company reached out to me where they're wanting to do a highlight video of their community, and I sent my quote and I was like, man, this is kind of high, but I think this is what it's worth. I think this is what the product is worth that I'm going to deliver. And they said yes. So don't underestimate yourself. So the third thing I've learned doing this now full-time for 2 months is you have to be really on top of your finances. Managing your finances has never been more important than ever. So coming from where I was before, which was a salary gig, meaning I got the same check every 2 weeks, it's super different transitioning to a freelancer because you have no guarantees on when your money's coming in. And that was honestly one of the biggest things that held me back from doing this jump even sooner, because I have a mortgage, a baby now, a wife, a whole bunch of adult stuff. So that was really the biggest thing that kind of scared me. But you know what? Doing it now, I'm pretty confident and everything's going pretty well. The key to this is honestly living below your means. If you're making X amount of money, you need to try and live at least half that lifestyle or something like that, because you want to save for the slow times or the times that maybe you're not getting a lot of jobs. And so it's really important to have a reserve at least of 6 months to 12 months of your expenses. That way you're not desperate for jobs and you can just focus on the jobs that you really want to do. So I've definitely learned it's super important to document everything from your expenses to your income to mileage to all your stuff for taxes like deductions and things like that. That way this transition is a lot easier for you. And especially if you have a good amount of savings or stuff that you had in advance before doing this. That's one of the things I wanted to do. I wanted to hit a certain number in my savings before going full time for any sort of maybe slow times, or maybe I didn't get a job for a month or two. So that definitely helped. I'm trying to drink a lot of water, and this is the bottle they gave us at the hospital with all the measurements. So good water bottle. It's okay to say no. If you're smart about the things that you're doing and you're focusing on a niche and getting really good at it to where a lot of your clients are coming from that, you don't have to accept every job offer that comes to you. That's definitely one of the most important things I've learned now doing this for 2 months is you don't have to say yes to everything, because some of these jobs you necessarily don't want to do, or maybe are outside of what you think your skill set are, things that maybe don't interest you so much. And it's okay to say no, because now you're focusing on the other projects that maybe make you more, that you're more passionate about, and are gonna grow your business in the long haul. So it's been really different, because coming from a salary job where you don't really have any sort of say on the type of stuff that you're doing, it's kind of eye-opening now that you have the option to just kind of be like, no, I don't think we're a good fit, or I'm sorry, this budget doesn't work, and you can pass it along to someone else, or just go on your way and focus on the projects that you're really wanting to do. And I'm still in that transition process, because I'm still to the point where oh, what if it's a slow month? I need to take this, I need to take that. But honestly, it's been pretty eye-opening, because what I'm focusing on right now is real estate. I'm building up that client base and it's going pretty well. One of the things that's also really important about real estate is it's a good source of reoccurring business. While weddings are a really big chunk of money, you're only going to work with that client once, unless they get married again. But honestly, you're not going to get consistent income from that, versus in the real estate world, these agents and realtors and teams are always listing homes, and so they're gonna use you if you deliver a great product. Which brings me to the 5th point I've learned doing this now for 2 months, and that is work-life balance. This is so important, and it's something I've always struggled with, and I feel like it's even harder than ever now. When I was a salary paid photographer, I kind of had a consistent routine schedule going, so everything was, for the most part, kind of the same each day, as far as I knew what to expect every week, and I developed a workflow. Especially now I'm married to my wife and now a daughter, I want to really make time for them on weekends and weeknights. And jumping into this, it was really eye-opening, because the truth is you work all the time. There's no one telling you have set hours, this or that, so that's all up to you. And one of the things I've learned, that still trying to have some sort of routine and consistent schedule for this type of work is really important and helps you actually get better at it. What I definitely try to do during the week is basically do all of my jobs and gigs Monday through Friday, and do all of those things within a normal working day. So in my office, I'm basically from 9 to 5. After that, I'm done. I go and hang out with the family, and then also on weekends, I try and do everything I can to not work, so I can just spend time with them and not just work consistently crazy. Because that was also another big reason on why I wanted to make this change, was I was really overworked where I was before, and not having so much control over my schedule, or hardly any, in the type of work I was doing. I really felt like it was time for me to go off on my own to have control over all these things, which is ultimately what I wanted to do. So all of these points to say are definitely, I'm still learning, and there's honestly many more, but these are pretty much the main things that stuck out to me. And I definitely wanted to make this video in case any of you guys were in that position where maybe you're contemplating it, you're wondering what it's like to be a freelancer, maybe you're thinking about it, maybe you're doing it now. It's definitely super different from being an employee at a business, so as much as you can prepare beforehand, you're gonna be better off. But I'm happy to report that I'm so excited with this transition. I'm really contemplating on what my next steps are, and I'm super excited that part of my weekly routine is putting in these videos, which I never really had time for, and I'm excited about that. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed, comment down your thoughts. I would love to know if you have any other tips or things you've learned as a freelancer, and subscribe if you haven't already. I would love for you guys to be part of my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya. So I'm in the middle of editing this video, and look what just came in the mail. Yep, the Sony a7S III is in the house for a little over a week. I'm excited to learn this over the weekend and use this on a variety of shoots next week, because literally I have a shoot every day, Monday through Friday. It's gonna be so busy. And came with the 16-35. Ooh, I'm excited. It's gonna be a good one. Tune in soon.